Good morning. At least this morning where I am. Depends when you're watching this, I suppose. I'm on my way into the gym, and essentially I thought I would just use the opportunity to try and get a video done. I haven't done one for a while. I've been meaning to, but trying to get time to set the camera up and get it done and get it edited is just proving a little difficult at the moment. So I thought, well, why not take use of the time that I've got? I can't do anything else when I'm sitting in the car, and as long as I'm not looking at the camera all the time, I assume I'm effectively paying attention to the road. So I'll see how this goes. It might be a little shaky. I can see the camera shaking about over there. I don't know what the sound quality is going to be like, but we'll give it a shot and see if I can get some content up. Essentially, I've got a few things that I do want to talk about, and a couple of things that people have asked me lately, and I just thought, well, deal with it. Let's give this a shot. So, the first thing I really wanted to mention was my current training program. Since I had my little boy 3.5 months ago, coming up to 4 months ago, my training plans have been wildly out of whack. I know everybody sort of talks about mothers when they've had their baby and what they can and can't do and what have you. But in the end, one of the major things about training or being healthy and trying to improve your health and fitness that I always go on about is getting the fundamentals right, and the fundamentals being water, rest, as in sleep, and the essential nutrients. And essentially, when you've got a newborn baby, the middle element there, sleep, is not the easiest thing to come by. It seems to be less difficult to go without sleep when you've got something as wonderful as a little baby to wake up to. But at the same time, especially in the early days, it was incredibly difficult just to function properly, never mind try to fit in a training session. And even if I did cram one in, it probably wasn't going to be of the highest quality, and that is what I was doing. I was essentially trying to cram in some training sessions. I would have the odd day where I felt really good, and I would get a training session in that day. But I think over the course of 3 months, the first 3 months, I got maybe 6 sessions in, so that's maybe one fortnight, maybe 7. There was a couple others in there that you could maybe call sessions, but I had maybe an hour's training planned, and after about 2 hours, I'd done probably 20 minutes of it. That is the one vice of owning a gym. A lot of people seem to think that, oh, you're in a gym all day, you can train whenever you want. How lucky are you? But I'm in a gym all day that I own, and if I try and train whenever I want, I go to train. But if something comes up, if somebody needs a hand with something, if somebody needs a protein shake or a bottle of water or a spa, or somebody comes in for a tour or whatever, I'm the man. It's me that's got to go deal with it, and I can't say no while I'm training. It's still my business, so I still have to run it. So it's not been the best. So I took a step back, and this is the reason for doing this video. It's not because I'm going to suggest that anybody follow this pattern, because it's not going to be that easy for anybody to do. It is something that I can do because I own a gym and because I'm there a lot. But what I really want to focus on is the fact that I try to look at the broader picture and try to say, well, what's the scenario here? If I was my own client, what would I suggest to myself? And I had to sit down and really had a proper think about it, and realised that my big problems are, I'm starting to get a little more sleep now. Not that you can tell today, but I'm starting to get a little more than I was before. So it's a little less broken up. So I feel like I can physically do a little bit more than I was able to do at the beginning. But the problem is still that it's a very busy time of year, coming up to Christmas, and it's tricky to fit these workouts in without people interrupting the workout. So instead of setting up a 1 hour workout and then taking 4 hours to physically get through the thing, I try to think, well, what could I do? And I've always advocated the idea that lots of short workouts with food in between, and fueling in between, and recovery in between, has got to be better than the same amount of time training with fewer workouts. So in other words, if you're going to train for an hour, if you could split that up into 3 20-minute sessions, then the final 20-minute session you're going to be refueled and energised for, and you'll get more out of it than had you stuck it on at the end of a 1 hour workout, because you're going to be fatigued by the time you get to the end, even if it's only slightly, and even if you don't notice it that much, you are going to be fatigued, so you're not getting the same level of muscle contraction or the same level of intensity that you would have got at the beginning of the workout. So I'm in the gym for most days, around about 12 to 14 hours. So why not take advantage of that? And the other thing that it does for me then is it means I'm very focused for 20 minutes, and I can go just get 20 minutes worth of training done. And so if somebody needs something, I can check before I start, and then hopefully by the time I'm getting towards the end of it, if something comes up, then I can they can wait for 2 or 3 minutes. If not, I'll still go and do what needs to be done. So that's what I've been doing. So my plan has generally been not to do this every day, but 4 days a week to try and do between 3 and 4 20-minute workouts. My ultimate goal is to be doing 4 of them. The way things have been, again, it's just been very busy and very frantic. I've yet to manage that. But what I am doing is making the last workout sort of supplemental workouts or smaller muscle groups. So the way I'm breaking it down is the first day and then the third day of the 4 that I'm doing. I would do lower body quad focus, upper body horizontal pushing, and upper body vertical pulling, and then I would stick something else in at the end, whether it be a bicep workout or an upper back workout, or that's the plan. Then on day 2 and day 4, I would do posterior chain lower body, I would do upper body vertical push, and I would do upper body horizontal pull. So for the lower body, for each muscle group, I'm just picking 2 exercises. So I would do approximately 15 minutes on a big compound movement that was focused on that, primarily on that, or the prime mover would be that muscle group that I'm looking to work. So in the lower body for quads, I would either do a front squat or a trap bar deadlift or a hack squat or something like that. And then for the last 5-6 minutes, I would go and do probably 3 sets of higher reps of something that's a little bit more isolated. So I might do sissy squats or band of sissy squats, or I might do some squat jumps or reverse drags with sled. Anything that sort of focuses a little more on the quads. What I wouldn't do is go and do a leg extension, but that's for another video. Then I'd move to the upper body, and for horizontal push, what we'll go to is going to be a bench press. It could be a bench press from pins, it could be a floor press, it could be a slight incline or a slight decline. And then I'd follow that on with something like a pec fly, a cable crossover, plyometric press ups, a 3-point press, any of those kind of things, throwing a wall ball type thing, or I'll try and do a video of it when I've got a lot more time to set the camera up and actually show what I'm doing. So you get the idea. So it's one big movement followed by a smaller movement at higher reps and higher intensity. And then on the other 3 days, the goal is just to fit in one extra workout, with one of them probably being more a power-based workout, one of them being more of an upper back focus, especially if I've missed it for the rest of the week. So that's what I've been doing. The way it's worked out, I've been doing it for 2 weeks now, and it's working quite well. I'm not saying that I'm getting everything in exactly the way that I want it, but I'm getting a hell of a lot more done now than I was getting in before. So, as I say, it's not the easiest thing to do, because I'm trying to leave 2.5 to 3 hours in between each workout as a minimum. And if I go in and something happens and I'm very busy for the first 3 or 4 hours of the day, then I'm really cutting my time down. It's very difficult to try and either get the full rest in, get the meal in, So quite often I'm not getting a meal, I'm just making a protein shake. Maybe get a meal between one of them. But doing, even if I only managed, in week one I managed 2 days where I got 3 of the workouts in, and 2 days where I only got 2 of the workouts in. But that's an awful lot more than I was getting in when I got none of the workouts in, or when I was just starting one workout and got so interrupted or so distracted that I didn't get through it. So basically it's a solution to I just looked at the overall problem, not just look at what workout do I need to do, but rather why am I not getting through these things and what's the best solution for me. And this was a solution that I thought would work, and so far it is proving to work. So what I'd invite you guys to do is, if your training's exactly what you want it to be, then that's fantastic. But if actually getting the training in is a problem, then don't keep swimming against the stream. Basically, have a look at what the surrounding issues are, look at your entire life. It's what I always look at the idea that why we do personal coaching or personal training is it's not just about the training, it's about looking at your life in a very holistic sense and trying to work out what is actually the best thing for you based on the criteria that sits around about your lifestyle. If the reason you're not getting to the gym is just because you can't be bothered and you're just sitting on the couch, well, that's maybe testing your priorities and why, what is your enthusiasm or what are your goals and what do you actually want to achieve. But if you're basically if you're not able to get to the gym because of outside influences, don't pretend when you're setting up your workout program that you can get there, and work to what you've got. It might only be temporary, it might not be optimal, but it might only be temporary. So that's my thoughts. I'm almost at the gym anyway, so I'm going to leave you to it at that, but hopefully I'll get back to you in the future with some more of these. Until then, have a good workout. See you later.